Chapter 53. I get the feeling Jeremy doesn't do beaches very often, despite his fictional demise taking place on one. He keeps taking his shoes off to empty sand out while asking lots of questions about me growing up, favourite books, music, what I want to be. The weather is starting to change, so when he suggests a hot chocolate in town, I agree. Where were you when I was born? Shooting an informational video for Greenpeace, he says. I think it was for their anti-whaling campaign. Which is good. He was on the right side. Explains where Mum got the whale from. Did you two-time Mum, were you married or are you married now? No, to all three. I'm getting the questions in before I have to decide whether I like them or not. Do you have other kids? Did you have a dog? Why didn't you want to be with Mum? No, not really, and I don't know. It was complicated. We didn't really know each other very long. Before I can point out he knew her well enough to get her pregnant, he corrects himself. No, really, I have no reason except I wasn't mature enough to accept the responsibility. I guess I was scared, so I blocked it out. You, Molly, the pregnancy. To my eternal shame. I had a dog called Sneeze when I was little. He was photophobic. Sunshine made him sneeze. I feel awkward walking beside him. My steps are all considered and misplaced, so I watch what's going on instead. The town is living on last night's buzz. Was the ball only last night? Full Irish breakfasts are still being served outside pubs for the 3 p.m. risers as we stroll through. Blushing couples emerge from doorways like vampires to lick the scent off the day and see if it is real. The strange thing is finding out what Jeremy and I have in common. We both like inventing stuff, and we both see things that aren't there, even if he only sees them in his head, so that he can put them on screen, while I see them for real. He says he loves Christmas, likes making up recipes, and puts chocolate in his porridge with cream and cornflakes, which you have to admit is pretty weird. Pretty weird coincidence. I introduce him to Simon, Brenda, and Father Lafarge. Basically everyone I meet. Despite the whole thing about him not being Rick and everything I said before this, I want them all to see I have a dad. It's a bit difficult to explain why I thought he'd been swallowed by a whale, but he's very patient, shakes everyone's hand, and says he's a lucky man. Of course, I tell them all he's been abroad, very far away, deepest Asia, undersea, Africa. That's why we thought he was dead. Then it's back to the hotel and busy with the remains of the festival until everyone finally goes home, or hibernates and pretends they're home. The clean-up proper will start tomorrow. You'd think the school would be glad to let us all have Monday off to recover, given how much we contributed to the festival, but no. The teachers seem to have communally panicked at so much time being lost. So Monday is a crazy day of catching up and complaining about the immense tip of homework they feel obliged to drop on our heads. It's not until the bell goes at 10 to 4 that it all hits home. I have a dad. Dylan hovers by the bus so we can board together. I realise I can go out with him now. Mum's going steady, if her history with Dad counts, and I'm turning out the gate, left towards him, looking all shy because this is the moment where it all gets serious. So I might as well make it the moment momentous. When Jeremy's car cuts in, the passenger door opens. Without even thinking about it, I hop in and he drives away. Well, it's a lift, and lifts are better than school buses on these roads, aren't they? I ask him to stop then so we can go back and offer Dylan a lift. He was waiting for me, I say. There isn't time. I've booked this lovely restaurant, says Jeremy, but it's an hour away, and if that boy really is your friend, he'll understand that you want to spend time with your father. His name is Dylan, I say. Father, I think. It sounds heavy and sort of presumptuous. I try not to think about how Grace felt when Marcus acted like this. Marcus wasn't genetically connected. As for her own dad, well, Jeremy drops me outside the hotel so I can go change while he parks up. Mum's at the desk handing over the reins to Chris. When I come back down, ready to go out, Chris is hanging up the new menu, but he's watching Mum and Jeremy out front by the car. Mum's laughing. How can he make her laugh so quickly? I think I spotted a humpback this morning, says Chris. Must have followed the mackerel over. Want to come up with your binoculars and see if we can spot them? We're going out for dinner, I say. Maybe tomorrow? Sure. It's odd. Maybe it's that Jeremy's so tall and straight, but Chris seems to have shrunk ever so slightly. He's also taken the second tea of halibut on the menu. Is this the big love of her life, he says. I nod. It must be, because she never got over him. She only imagined him dead in the belly of a whale because she missed him so. Nice necklace, he says. Insert present giving, the rules. People often lie when they accept gifts. These are generally little fibs to make the giver feel better. Let these fibs stand. But if you chose your gift incredibly well, until they present you with something very similar the following year. This is because people generally give gifts that they would like to receive. Follow this, and you'll cause intense joy. One exception to this rule: if you get smelly soaps shaped like cherubs, it is possible they were unwanted presents from an elderly aunt last year. It doesn't matter what you spent on a pressy, if it's something to show that you know what they are interested in, but failing that, chocolate and money go down well for teens. Lots of chocolate, lots of money are even better. Do not buy your children socks or underpants. That's just wrong. Isn't that your maintenance man? Says Jeremy as we drive home past Kitty's pub. I am in the back seat, carrying food triplets, sated and sleepy. Me, not the food babies. They're gurgling. The food was exceptionally good, but the toffee ice cream sundae might have been a bit too much. Hard to tell, says Mum, looking away. But it isn't, even if they weren't kind of boxed in a corner talking so close by the back door of the pub. Chris and Kitty. Okay, makes sense. I'm happy for them. It's good that everyone is finally finding someone. So why doesn't it feel right? To be continued.